already know what it is, man. It's Money Mondays. Hey, yo, check this out, man. I was just, if you haven't already, make sure you go and get your copy, man. Best-selling novel of 2020. I wrote and published my first book in the middle of a pandemic. Man, it's crazy. So this is my master copy. So this is my personal copy that I have. And so I'm just kind of flicking through it and, just reminiscing on the whole writing process. And I get thousands of questions from people all over, man. How did you write your first book? How did you get your first deal? A lot of different things, right? So we're definitely going to have a conversation on IG Live, and we kind of go in more depth about this. But today I wanted to kind of give you, the rundown of the basics that you would need to write your own book, right? The first one, you gotta have a purpose of the book, just like you have to have a purpose in your life. Your book has to make sense. But let's not say make sense, but your book has to make sense to a specific audience. I think sometimes as creatives and artists, we create a lot, but sometimes the reason why it doesn't go as far as we think it should is because we haven't tailored it to that specific niche. So the first thing you need to do in your book writing process, figure out what's the purpose of the book. When I was writing this book, I didn't want to go the nonprofit route. I was not trying to write a book about nonprofits. I thought that would have been, a little too educational. So I was like, my first book, I wanted to tell a life story. So I wanted to write about Sebastian. I'm 22 at the time. I'm like, hey, we not really there yet. You've done some amazing things. You lived a great life, but give yourself more time to write that Sebastian book, right? And so I was like, okay, I'm gonna shelve that one. And then I spoke somewhere in San Antonio, my last speaking engagement. A young man was asking me, he wanted to create a nonprofit organization. He wanted to create some type of organization that was going to help students create programs and things of that nature that was kind of tailored towards the Pride movement around Pride Month. We had a great conversation, and I hope he's doing well. I think he went to Texas A&M. We had a great conversation, but that moment I realized, I said, people really want to hear the nonprofit stuff because it doesn't get talked about. I mean, being realistic, I'm in the nonprofit space. I call myself the nonprofit Don. One of the things that I've noticed, nonprofit work is not attractive. It's not as attractive in the community as other things are. And so I said, you know what? Let's write a book around this. Let's write a book about the process and show you the ins and the outs, show you how to create a nonprofit, show you the blueprint. Because when I started, I didn't have that. I've had people that I met along my journey, but I didn't have a person, showing me exactly what a nonprofit was. I honestly, when you hear nonprofit, you associate it with no money. That's the first thing that comes to your mind, no money. Nonprofit is a business. Don't let anybody tell you that. It's a social enterprise that creates products and services to help others, to create, better for the greater good of the community. So you need money to operate stuff. You need money to give back. So essentially it's a business, right? And so I said, let's create a book. And so, Art of Giving was something that I always wanted to run with. Giving is an art. And so I'm gonna read you guys an insert from the book, if you don't have it already, right? So, Art of Giving, one nonprofit can change the world. If you haven't heard, this is a 3-part series. There's going to be 3 books a part of the Art of Giving series that's going to turn into a documentary film that's set to release in 2025. And so, I'll tell you guys right now, the cat is out the bag. I have begun production on my second book, Art of Giving. I won't give you the topic. I really won't give you the synopsis of the book, but just know the second book is coming. So let's get right into it, man. So if you haven't seen it already, it's the Art of Giving, one nonprofit can change the world. The first funny story. The first cover was, I'm not gonna honestly, I'll be real with you guys. It was a stupid cover. I don't know what I was thinking. I had a goat in the grass. It was nonsense, man. I don't know what I was thinking. So we had to hurry to scrap that because at the time my consultant was like, I don't think that makes sense to your audience and what you're trying to do. So I was like, yeah, you're right. So let's change that. And so right here we have, we have the globe, we have the world, right? One man can change the world, one woman can change the world. And you have different hands, right? We all come from different walks of life. We all come from different, spaces, different ethnicities, different cultures. So we want to resemble that, right here. And the Art of Giving, Art of Giving was always something that was special to me because giving is an art, like we said. And so I want to kind of define that for you because you hear me talk about that a lot, but essentially I never really defined it. So let's define it. Art of Giving is the intentional, selfless, loving, and caring devotion of dedication for a community, a person, or a movement to better the living qualities of any person or object. That's what the Art of Giving is, guys. So that's the first thing you see when you open up the book. And so that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to define the purpose of the book. So the first thing you need to do in your self-published journey, find a purpose, right? The second one is you gotta have a book title. It's just like having an album title, just like having a name of your t-shirt, your brand, your business, your Instagram name, whatever. It needs to have a name, and the name needs to be attractive. Your name needs to roll off the tongue. people are necessarily not going to pronounce one nonprofit can change the world, but they're going to say the art of giving. And so that's something that we can roll off the tongue. Think about all the best books: Rich Dad, Poor Dad, Atomic Habits. What else are some good books? I'm missing some stuff. I can't think right now. But you know some books that's your favorite, and you know they roll off your tongue. It's easy for you to say. Your book title needs to be the same way. You don't want something too long, and you don't want something that's hard for people to understand. Come up with a simple, unique, niche title that people can roll with and that they can run with. So you got your purpose, you got your title. Then that's when you want to start getting into the meat of the book. What do you want your reader to take away from it? Now, this may sound the same as the purpose, but essentially it's not. Because the purpose is why you want them to read. But the meat of the book, which I like to call it, I like the meat of the book, I honestly like to call right here, your middle part. It's like having a 3-layer cake, right? You got the chocolate on top, you got the vanilla, you got the strawberry. Your vanilla of the book. What exactly is the reader going to take away from it? And the call to action. In the meat of the book, the reader needs to come away with some type of call to action. So you need to have some type of play in the book where a person can sit there and say, you know what, I like this. Let me put this book down. Let me go out and do something in the real world. Think about when I read, I think it was Think Your Girl Rich by Napoleon Hill. I read books by reading them in chapters and incremental chapters, and I like to put the chapter away and go and see how I can apply that to my real life. That's the same thing you want your reader to do. When you read those books, you put that book down, you say, you know what? I want to go and start a business. I want to go invest into some stocks. I want to go do this. I want to go do that. That's what you need to have in the meat of your book. And your vanilla of the book, it's a cake. This book is a cake. And your vanilla, you need to figure out what exactly the reader is going to take away and go apply into the real life, right? So let's go back to it. You got your 3 things. Purpose, we got to have a title. We got to get to the meat, the vanilla. We got to get to the creativity of the book, right? How do I want the layout of my book to look like, right? So you want to be unique with it. So for me, I say, I want to have a title page, I want to have a definition page, you want to have a table of contents. But I also said my favorite books were books that made me think and made me write. So instead of a reader putting down your book and going open a notebook, I give it right here to you. And so when you open up the book, we gave you a blank page. I believe we gave you 2 pages. Is what does giving mean to you? And I gave you this as soon as you open the book, way before you even started reading. So before you even started reading, I'm causing you to think. You want to apply that to the same thing that you're doing in your book as well. And so then, get into the creativity of the book. Anything I say when you're doing educational, nowadays, everything is so, e-book related. Everybody loves visuals. Give your reader an opportunity to see some pictures, right? And so for us, what we wanted to do was we wanted to put some pictures in the book. If I can get to them. I used a lot of our Sanders hand pictures, a lot of the stuff that we did, because the book is about nonprofits, so I wanted to be more visual with it. So here you go. Let's get right to it. So we got a lot of pictures. You guys can see, I'm sorry. But if not, go get a copy of the book, then you can see all the pictures you want. But look, we put some pictures in the book to make it more visual, right? And so that, you want to be able to be creative with your book. And essentially, you want your reader just to be intrigued by the whole layout and the design. One of the things that I wanted to do was, we had a big argument, myself, my consultant, I had 3 consultants with me. And I was doing this whole book process, just listening to people. And so they were saying, well, you want to put your pictures in color. I said, you know what? I want this to be history. This is Black history for me. So, I'm the first author in my family. And I said, I want these books to be in black. I want these pictures to be in black and white because I want the reader to be able to take away from this and say, this is a monumental history. And so that's what we did. And so essentially, for you can go with color. For me, I went black and white. But you want to be able to be creative with your book. And then your last piece is the writing. Give your readers the best content. Take your time. I went through 3 different publishers, and I went through 3 different people who proofread my book. I'm a good writer, but at the same time, I miss some things, right? I'm gonna have some spell errors. I'm gonna have some pronouns that are not supposed to be. I'm gonna have some stuff that's not supposed to be where it's at. Take the time, invest into your book. Before I even got an official manuscript, I done went through about 3 to 5 different publishers just to make sure this was right. And so you need those 5 basics to get your book in some type of order. And then you want to start looking at the marketing aspect. How much money am I going to put in my marketing dollars? Who am I marketing this book to? So there's so many different things that's going to come with after that. But you got to get the 5 juicy points down because that's going to make your book. Before you even think about going out and doing interviews and nothing like that, these 5 steps need to be embedded into your book. We got to have a unique purpose. We got to have the title. We got to have the meat of the book. What is the meat of the book? We got to be able to be creative with our book. And we got to add valuable content that is the most professional writing that you have ever done. If it takes you to go through 4 people, you got to do that. You got to invest that money because this is your writing. Your name is on this. My whole name is on this. My face is on this. I didn't want to put something out there that wasn't going to be right for the people, that was going to be rushed. I didn't want to rush anything. I want to give you the best valuable content that I can bring to the table. And so with that being said, writing a book is essentially is hard, but it's also easy at the same time when you have a purpose and when you're excited about something. Don't go and write a book just because I want to make some money, I want to create passive income. You write a book because you have something to tell. We all have a story. I don't care what anybody says. You have a story to tell. So you put that into a book. You put that into a poem. You put that into some type of blog. But you put it out there to the world because there's somebody that needs you and there's a reader that needs you. And let me tell you one last thing. I think every writer, every reader, every author, I think you should end your book with a powerful quote that just not hurts the soul, but it touches the soul to an extent where it makes you think like, oh wow, I want your mouth to be open. And so for me, the last thing that I put in the book, here we go right here. It's the last thing I put in the book. There is a you in the world that needs you. We need you. I need you. Follow Your Purpose by Sebastian Sanders. Hey guys, man, it's Money Mondays. I just want to kind of give you the 5 basics of how to publish your book, or what you need to publish the book. Part 2 will be coming. Then we can get deeper into the marketing aspect of, okay, do I want to go Amazon? Do I want to go Barnes & Nobles? Do I want to go hand copies? Or do I need to go to a book deal? We'll get into the meat of that here next. But I wanted to kind of give you the 5 basics that you need to just to get started. Once you get your feet wet and get started, we'll come back to the groundwork and come back to the table and say, okay, let's go into the next phase of the book. But hey man, you know what it is. If you haven't already, go and get your copy and check it out. Like I said, I'm writing the second book now as we speak. So go and get your book. You know what it is. I personally sign all the copies that you purchase from our website. Go to Amazon. We're on Walmart. We're on Target. We're anywhere where the e-commerce is. Go and get your copy of the book. Thank you.